Welcome back, everybody. Mark with Exotic Car Play Place. Today, I'm going to come to you with some new details, fresh from the rumor mill. You know, obviously, there's no secret. I drive a lot of the BMW products. I have two of them myself. I've owned several beyond that. I love the product. What I don't love is some of the treatment that I've had at the dealers, and I've shared some of those details with you in previous videos, where I've had, I've been in the service shop or had my car in at the dealer, and while I'm waiting, I'd walk around in the showroom and I would spend a significant amount of time. I'm talking about in the neighborhood of about, 2 to 3 hours sometimes, and sometimes even more. And I literally, only you get stares. I actually haven't had a whole lot of people, and actually the last 2 times I've been in the dealership here locally where I live, both dealerships, I've had the same situation happen where nobody even approached me. I'm strutting through the showroom looking at cars, some of the new products, because I'm waiting anyway. I might as well check out some of the new cars out there. And I didn't even so much as have a good morning or a hello from any of the salespeople. But I'm going to explain to you guys today, I heard through the grapevine from somebody on the inside why this happens. I actually had this experience where I spent 3 hours in the dealership and I didn't have so much as a good morning or a hello. Now there is a reason this happens, and I'm going to share that with you. So these are the things that the dealers don't want to tell you. No one's going to explain this to you, and it may only be a localized issue. It obviously boils down to management, but what level of management does that stop at? I don't know if that's a local regional management BMW dealer network, or does this go upstream? Maybe other people are having similar situations occur. Now, what I found was, after I spent almost a handful of hours at the dealer, I ended up hustling across the road because I thought, you know what, I'm going to go take a look. There was an Audi dealer right next door to the BMW dealer. I walked in there the same day, like I said, a little bit later, and you basically had the receptionist step up, offer a beverage. We had 2 salesmen come over and just, offer, hey, good morning, and can I help you? I actually had almost too much attention, but you know what? I don't complain, because at least they show that they respect any customer that walks in the door. So, as you can tell, you know what? I don't typically wear suits. I mean, I do wear them at times, but if I'm going out to the dealer, I'm going to take the car in for service, I'm not wearing a suit. I'm not wearing a tie. I'm just going casual jeans and whatever I'm typically wearing. And what I understand is I've been profiled. Often, I go into the dealership and I get profiled. The last time I went into the BMW dealership when this happened, like I said, I spent a whole schwack of time walking around being ignored. So word has it, what actually happens is, and here's the deal, what actually happens is all the sales guys, there's 8 salespeople on that day. What ends up happening is the manager says everybody basically gets a turn at a potential sale, which is fair. It's fair for, from an employee standpoint. I understand why you would do that. You want every salesperson to get the potential sale. But what ends up happening, and this is where it gets a little funky, is word on the street is what they actually do is they profile. So if you're guy number 1, salesman number 1, and you see a customer walk in, so you're the first guy that's going to have that opportunity for a sale. The manager's already established that. There's a rotation, okay? So you get the first opportunity. The second customer comes in the door. If that first salesperson has already managed and dealt with that first person walking in the door, then the second salesman gets the second customer, and third gets the third, and so on and so forth. But what actually happens is the salesman is who's up next to actually take a look and potentially grab that customer for a sale of a new BMW. He looks at the customer and he makes his own determination. What's going on? Does this customer look like they're serious? Does this customer look like they have the credentials? Does this customer look like the next person that's going to buy a BMW from me, the salesperson? If you do not fit that criteria, and I might add, when I go in there, I often in jeans, not in a t-shirt by any means, no rub-a-dub action going on here. Often it's just, maybe a golf shirt or something casual, but, dressed kind of moderately. I went in there with my daughter on both occasions. And so immediately, I was profiled. They knew right away this guy is not shopping for a car, therefore we can't be bothered to have a discussion with this guy. So this is actually from the inside. I got this win from a person right here locally on the inside of this dealer network, and that's actually how they manage the customer flow. Now, I get it, they're trying to support the growth and the success of each individual salesperson. Makes total sense. You want to give everybody a fair shake, because traditionally you get those guys that would hustle, and I'm sure it becomes a dog-eat-dog world when it comes to sales. But what actually happens is, in this situation, all in the sake of trying to satisfy each individual salesperson, they're actually shooting themselves in the foot over potential sales. And this is what I found is actually happened to me on several occasions. And this happened to me exactly the last time I went in there, when I spent several hours in the dealer and had no response, not only from the salesperson, even the receptionist, which I find ironically interesting, didn't feel compelled to even say good morning. So again, maybe it's a local network thing, maybe it's a local, the local dealer situation, I'm not sure. But on the inside, regardless of what's going on at the reception, the salespeople are mandated to basically share the opportunities as customers roll in. And for the sake of a salesman basically potentially losing a profitable sale, they don't want to risk it on somebody who they believe or profiled as kicking tires. They don't even want to risk that, because as soon as they've committed and said good morning, that's their customer. The next customer rolls in, and that's a high dollar guy. He rolls in there and he wants to suit up with a brand new M5. Well, guess what? That first guy is choked because he went and stepped up and talked to a guy that maybe is just kicking tires. But how would you know that, right? Honestly, I'm always in the market for the cars. I'm not saying I'm buying a car every time I step into the dealership, but a good experience goes a long ways, and it often puts you in a state of mind that makes you feel enthusiastic about purchasing your new BMW through that dealer. So everybody, I know I'm not the only one who's experienced this. Often you wonder why this is the case, and why are you experiencing less than stellar salesperson, welcome wagon, if you will. That is likely because there is an agenda, and the agenda is to sell cars naturally, which goes without saying. But they basically aren't bothered in talking to the customers. Now, that being said, I do wonder, so pride aside, if you go up to a salesperson yourself, what is that going to look like? I'd like you guys to give me your feedback. Have you experienced these similar situations? Has your local dealer sort of treated you in a similar fashion? Or do you feel that you've been, profiled as you're the have versus the have-nots, and you've been treated accordingly? I'm not sure. Have you guys managed or, felt that situation arise? I don't know. I'm looking for your guys' feedback on that, as well as what do you think? If you go and approach the dealer, are they going to give you the time of day? Is that consistent with, that taking the next salesperson or the next customer in line? Is that sound consistent? I don't know. But anyway, everybody, I hope you enjoyed the video. I wanted to share that with you. That's just something the dealers will not share with you. And unless you know somebody on the inside, you would never know this. But that is the sales tactic that I have heard and learned on the inside here locally at our dealerships in the city where I reside. So everybody, I really hope you enjoyed the video, shed a little light on it for you. I guess at the end of the day, put your pride aside. If you really are serious about buying a car, by all means, go approach the salesman. But I will tell you that my experience hasn't been consistent from BMW to some of the other dealers. I've walked in, like I said, I've walked into an Audi dealer and I've had very good experience with people fully engaged. And I've actually walked in the local Porsche dealer and I've had similar experience as the Audi dealer where they were a little bit more outgoing and willing to have a discussion with you. So everybody, brand aside, I love the brand. This is not a critique on the brand itself. It seems like a management style. I'm not sure if it's, if it's great or not. I don't know. You guys tell me. Anyway, thanks again, everybody. Mark here checking out with Exotic Car Play Place. I hope you liked that video, and we'll talk to you real soon. Thanks again. Bye-bye.